What's up, everybody? I'll try to keep this brief. This is like take three. I feel like it just gets a little too yappy, but man, there's a lot here. First of all, congrats to Zoran Mamdani, Mikey Sherrill, and Abigail Spanberger. Especially to they're all major historic elections. He's the first immigrant mayor of New York City. He's a lot of things. The first Muslim, first African, but they're the first female governors of their states, respectively, New Jersey and Virginia. So congrats to them. But I didn't, man. I thought this Jay Jones, Jason Miera's race for Attorney General was like 50-50 because like the text messaging scandal. It turns out people didn't really care that much. And I don't know how to take it, man. On one hand, I'm really glad the civility era seems to be coming to an end because it was always leveled against us unfairly, and because Republicans were never held to the same standard. But it's wild, like this title says, it expresses it better than I ever could. It turns out you can fantasize about your colleagues' kids getting shot, still win an election. This guy literally did that. We're not gonna look at those texts, but yeah, you can find them pretty easily. But yeah, here you go. We're gonna read these. They say nice things about everyone. Although the blue is a colleague, I think a fellow representative, if I remember correctly. If those guys died before me, I would go to their funerals and piss on their graves, send them out of. And this guy's just saying this stuff on regular SMS text. These guys are crazy. Jay Jones, three people, two bullets. Gilbert, I think Gilbert's the speaker of the House in Virginia. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets two bullets in that. This guy said he wants to shoot the speaker of the House. And he's gonna be attorney general. This shit is crazy. Spoiler: put Gilbert in the crew with the two worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Jay, please stop. LOL. He says LOL. Okay. This guy reminds me of that Tiger Woods Texas scandal. This guy looks like Tiger Woods. It really, cause it's like the things they like, man, we just be going off in text message. I'm just gonna say it. It's light skinned brothers. We just be going off. It really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. Wow. But yeah, he won. He's gonna be Attorney General of Virginia. Congrats to him. Jay Jones' campaign to be Virginia's Attorney General was well unconventional, but in a hyper-partisan environment, he won anyway. That's a great thing. I came over here the other day and said we do not need to drop Grant Plattner over this tattoo bullshit. Like, what do you prefer? A guy with a questionable tattoo, he had no idea what it was, got it when he was drunk, or actual Nazis? Easy decision to me. Like, do you want an actual Nazi adjacent guy in Virginia being the most powerful law enforcement official in the state? I don't. I want Jay Jones every time. I don't care about these text messages. All right, because man, the thing like they made a great point on the Majority Report. Sam Cedar, Emma Vigeland, the other day. They said that I think Emma said it that we're in an era now where everybody has an online history. You can't like the true sociopaths keep everything clean online. But man, people like me let it all hang out. And some people might want to run for office one day. You're gonna have to just view it in a different lens than we would have in the past. Where everybody's clean, polished, fake. Because people have said some shit. All of us have said some crazy shit. And if they can get Grant Platter's deleted Reddit account, they can get our shit too. I don't regret anything I've ever said online. It's all there. Like one time, when I got my ban like a month ago, I was banned for a week. I'm about 90% sure somebody put my entire account through some sort of AI to like filter out questionable terms or like threats or anything, and all they could find was me saying I support the Irish Republican Army. They're pretty damn clean. Anyways, took me 2 years to get a ban. There was a time when suggesting that your opponent should watch their children die would automatically cost you an election. That era appears to be over after Democrat Jay Jones was elected to be Virginia's next Attorney General on Tuesday night. Jones had, for most of the race, held a tight lead over the incumbent. He was the incumbent Attorney General. He lost to a guy, man. He must be really shitty. Republican Jason Miyares and been a fairly unremarkable candidate. It seemed until early October that this election would come down to a referendum on how Virginians felt about the Republican Party. It was a good place for him to be, given that the state typically votes against the party in the White House, but it wasn't a sure bet. The race changed suddenly on October 3rd when the National Review revealed a series of text messages Jones had sent to a colleague 3 years earlier. I guess we are going to read those texts. If they're here, I'm reading them. The messages were starkly violent. In one exchange, he wrote this of the Republican Todd Gilbert, the House Speaker. Okay, we already read those. According to National Review, Jones called the colleague who received the text Republican House Delegate Kerry Coyner in order to defend himself, arguing that Republican lawmakers experiencing pain firsthand was necessary for change. Babe, I've never even said some shit like, well, yeah, actually, not lawmakers, the voters, yeah. They experience a little pain. Don't understand like the dumb decision you made. But lawmakers, they feel some pain too. Fuck them. Care even less about them than the fucking voters. He suggested he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views on gun violence. Probably quoted to hang up the phone in disgust. Overreaction much? Like, that's the thing I don't like about being on the left. Everybody's so damn sensitive and just trying to be holier than thou and above it all the time. I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. There's like real things out there that require you to take a real moral stance, but like, man, come on. Like, don't turn on your own fucking people for this shit, because Republicans would never turn on one of the people for a fucking texting scandal. Yes, Jones responded, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. I mean, he's not wrong. Unless you're my governor, Bill Lee, his wife's best friend died in a school shooting, and we still got no gun control. A school shooting ain't a fucking like Christian school, but nobody cares. So I know Republicans are full of shit, and why I don't take them seriously. Morality, yeah, okay. Given the extreme nature of these texts, it's not surprising that Democrats face calls to withdraw their support for Jones. But they didn't. The text emerged shortly after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. They just tie everything to that motherfucker. The mediocre piece of shit. Raising the pitch of the conversation around political violence, which the right is doing all of it, and creating a popular words on violence. Creating a popular Republican narrative around left-wing tendencies towards violence, which we don't do. Jones did apologize, and Abigail Spanberger, shout out to Abigail Spanberger for not abandoning this guy. Democratic nominee for governor did condemn his remarks as abhorrent. But Spanberger did not stop backing Jones's candidacy. And I respect Spanberger. She went on the black media, real black media, like Roland Jones, and laid out a black agenda. Nor did the rest of the Democratic Party reject Jones. At a recent campaign event, Jones appeared on stage before Tim Kaine, one of my favorite senators, and former President Barack Obama. I think Tim Kaine would have been a great vice president. Would have been a good moral compass for Hillary Clinton. Jones' victory Tuesday is a snapshot of a hyperpolarized nation where voters are willing to look past their own candidates' failures because they see the alternatives as an existential threat to the country. Yes, and to their own well-being. Yeah. A little hyper-aware of the fact that I'm not a white guy in this country right now. And I'll support a candidate saying some questionable shit in text over a fucking Nazi a million times out of a million. For Republicans, this may be disconcerting, even incomprehensible, because you're stupid. To Democrats, however, there's an air of familiarity. A few days from now will mark the 9-year anniversary of Donald Trump's becoming president. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about vulgarity and shit? Look at your president. He's the most violent, vulgar, vile piece of shit that's ever occupied the White House. Like, you expect everybody else to be held to a high standard, but this guy can just shit all over the place? Nah. Trump becoming president a month after the world listened to a tape of him bragging about repeated sexual assault. He said, what did he say? Grab him by the pussy, and that was fine. And then his support goes up. You like this? I don't know what it is, man. Like these people, like, what do you expect to get out of electing a rapist? Like, are you stupid? You gotta be stupid, immoral, mentally challenged. This country just does some dumb shit, bro. But it's turning around, thank God. In part, these Democrats stuck by Jones because they knew his position would be important in challenging the Trump administration in legal battles, which is more important than a text message. Bigger picture, big baby. This race was also about the Republicans' best shot at getting power in the state government. Spanberger had consistently led her race in polling despite efforts from her opponent to tire to Jones. I don't even know who she ran against. She cruised the victory on Tuesday, replacing Glenn Youngkin. I think, if I remember hearing correctly, I think Virginia, the Democrats gained 13 seats in their legislature. So yeah, this is like the blue wave that 2018 was supposed to be like. We swept, cleaned up. Couldn't be more satisfied right now. And it's just a harbinger of things to come. Trump's done. You can't survive these approvals. But Jones' race was always close. Jones, a former state delegate that positioned himself as a candidate who will fight the Trump administration, Mieres, a former prosecutor who served 3 terms as a state delegate that campaigned on fighting culture war issues on behalf of conservatives. He had created an election integrity unit while in office, aggressively investigated gender-affirming schools, and joined a number of lawsuits against the Biden administration. That's what he's concerned about. Jones had promised to similarly challenge the Trump administration with concern for abortion access, voting rights, and criminal justice reform. Huh? In other words, the fight was, until Jones' text emerged, largely a typical battle between 2 modern partisans. Mieres-Jones' race was the most expensive attorney general race in Virginia's history. Not surprised by that. Jones had failed at obtaining the office once before, losing the Democratic primary for Attorney General in 2021 to Democratic incumbent who Mieres later beat. Jones, the son of 2 prominent judges, served in Virginia's House of Delegates from 2018 to 2021. Before the Texas scandal, he had hoped to be a rising star in the party. The Virginia Attorney General is a highly visible position nationally. It's unclear what Tuesday's win will mean for Jones's future, but he'll likely carry the scandal into his future career. I think he's got a lot of time turning around. He's like 36, and nobody will be thinking about this in just a month from now, if that. In part, that's because even if the threats weren't enough on their own, the texting story showed distasteful sides of Jones's private personality. Like, who doesn't have a distasteful? You think we're all just perfect little angels in pride? I'm not. Never claimed to be. I've said way worse shit than this. In the exchange, Jones wrote that if his Republican colleagues died for him, I will go to their funerals and piss on their graves. Ha! He also wrote that Gilbert, who has 2... Oh, man, speaking of, Dick Cheney died. Man, I was shocked at that. I was like, what the fuck? That guy could die? I thought Dick Cheney would outlive all of us. But, yeah. I don't have any thoughts on it. He killed a lot of people. And it wasn't his only scandal that week. The day before, the Richmond Times-Dispatch reported that Jones, after being convicted for reckless driving, had managed to avoid jail time by striking a deal to perform community service, and then went on to label work at his own political action committee as part of that. That's hilarious. He's funny. I like him. He's like Trump. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Drive 116 miles an hour on a 40. Who gives a shit? Just do it. YOLO, right? Thousands of votes had already been cast by the time Jones' text emerged, blunting some of the effect of the scandal. Though regardless, pundits will likely look to Jones' victory as a sign of Virginia voters' anger and anxiety with the ongoing presidential administration and Republican Congress, to the point of supporting a man who fantasized about children dying. I wouldn't call it a fantasy. He's just making a logical point, or what's the word I'm looking for here? I said thought experiment. Right, and anyways, there you go. So, the country, this ain't the America I grew up in. Thank God, because the civility politics should have died 20 fucking years ago. But, Jay Jones, Zoran Mandani, Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, massive congrats to all of you. Made history, big baby.